Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's a nightmare of a show.
Welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. I have to tell you that right after I talked to you and then the hearing started, yeah, you've probably heard a billion things about this whole thing, and I know that sometimes I come off like a Lindsey Graham.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Where yesterday he basically said everything that was on his mind and threw it all on the wall and tried to see what stuck.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
But I don't feel like Lindsey Graham. I feel like I am a really tired guy. I got up, it's 5:46, and I go, why? It's so early. It's Friday. Yay.
Why?
I think I'm going to dance a lot today and get up my happiness because it's Friday. To be sure.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
People that say, to be sure, that drives me nuts because it's a expression
Mike's
that I don't like.
Daily
I also don't like
Podcast.
it is what it is.
Yeah!
No, it's bigger than that. That's what, actually, there was a song I heard last night. It is what it is. No, it's bigger than that. Or something like that. That's right. My whole point today is the whole hearings thing. Look, this is a liberal-leaning show. I'm not going to say that Brett Kavanaugh convinced me at all. All he convinced me of is he's an entitled, puffy white guy who looks like he looked like a 4-year-old trying to do a Hulk impression yesterday. Just, my whole family. Look who walked in. Hi, Mike. It's Benita, the rodeo queen. How y'all doing? I brought my horse Nelly. That was Nilly's impression of the Hulk. Look who else walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant. And I brought my friend. Actually, he's driving into the cafe now.
This is Bison Bentley. Do you know that?
And it's me, the Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Hell, everybody's here today. I enjoyed that person on the panel yesterday that said a lot and was angry. That woman that was really angry up there with the gray hair and was...
And here's today's podcast picture.
I think her name was Lindsay.
Lindsey Graham is a guy. He was like in the Air Force or something. He was a JAG.
Mike, they don't like it when you call him that.
What? No, it was the podcast picture today. Oh, look. Basil! Yes. Oh, look. You know what? It's, boy, you all want power. I hope you don't get it. I used to have I don't have friends anymore. I have burned my bridges, Lindsey Graham. He was so angry. He's like, you know what? I had friends up here. They're gone. They're gone. He burned his bridges yesterday. He was so angry. Basil and I took a nice little walk over to the local high school that is going to be having their homecoming today. And I was like, I want to see the floats they make, because every year they make these clever floats, each class. But I didn't see any. So, I don't know. Then I got let down. And one other person's here.
Oh, there, Mike. I make the delicious root beer hairstyle. You seem groggy. Oh, boy.
Why would I want to drink root beer when I'm so tired? I'd want something with caffeine. As Professor Blasey Ford wanted yesterday, some coffee. Did you see Alyssa Milano was there? And it was interesting when... So I saw her get there early. She did like a tweet. She took pictures with people that wanted pictures with her. The celebrity, of course, from Charmed. And Who's the Boss? And she was on My Name is Earl, I think. She's been on so many things. She gets a lot of work. And she was sitting like right behind Kavanaugh when he was fuming, when he was throwing out all of his opening statement. His Clarence Thomas, this is a high-tech lynching speech. You know, where he comes back. You knew he was going to have to do like a Clarence after the very convincing, very sympathetic testimony of Professor Christine Blasey Ford. And then he comes out there and was just, my family has been hurt. I can't believe the things that have been said about me. I have not been on a Rhode Island boat. Why did you say I was on a Rhode Island boat? This has been a smear campaign from the beginning. I wanted to talk the day the allegations were made. Instead, they made me wait 10 days as they dragged me. I am like, that hurts my throat so much. I want to stop. Oh, gosh, that was just went on. I couldn't watch him anymore. I know. I'm supposed to hear both sides. I'm supposed to be impartial. Oh, it was just, like I said yesterday, please, Mr. President, just, you know what? Even if you keep this going, even if you Republicans pass this guy and he becomes the next, what have you won? What have you gained? You've won the battle, lost the war. Because this is going to hang over him way more than Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas hid. He disappeared after he gave his impassioned side of the story. He's like, you only hear from him now and then. With Brett Kavanaugh, this was fiery. He did the thing with Klobuchar where he said to her, she asked him, have you ever been blackout drunk? And he's like, no, have you? It was just, and she was like, is that your answer? Yeah, this is my answer. Yeah, flipping you off is my answer. He didn't go that far, but still, it was just this weird. He was so, like you want that as a court? You want that as a justice? You want that as a judge in the Supreme Court? Fine. Crazy. It just seems like, okay, you compare all this that happened yesterday. Same Democrats, same versus Democrat versus Republicans. Earlier this year, we had Gorsuch. Or was that last year? Now it's all blending into one. That was last year, huh? Yeah, that was last year, because Antonin Scalia died right around... Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was last year. Sorry. Doesn't it all blend together? So, Gorsuch, though, got right through. Nothing like this compared to that. Okay, yeah, the Democrats had this and that to say. But nothing like this. This was someone... So she said... Christine Blasey Ford said, I was looking for someone to listen to me, and nobody returned my calls. Who's her representative? It's Eshu. I wrote it down. That's what I don't understand, is why that representative did not jump on this right away. As soon as she heard this story, as soon as... Here's this professor calling you up and telling you what happened to her. You don't immediately start something. Congressman Anna Eshu. I don't understand. She's also she's 75. You've got all these politicians. You saw a bunch of old white guys yesterday, for sure. This is what you heard. If you listened to the hearing, this is what you heard. You heard a lot of that. Old people. And, well, my point, I'm gonna be old. I'm almost old. I am old. I'm almost gonna be really old. Well, hopefully, we can all hope for that. And I respect old people, but jeez, it was. And then, real quick, that whole Rachel Mitchell thing. God love Rachel Mitchell. Boo! Wow. So she had I don't know if anyone went over what was going to happen with her. Because it looked like the whole time she was just doing her job. Like, this is what I usually do. But then she was interrupted every 5 minutes because that's the rules in those hearings. You get 5 minutes. It's like all things, if you ever watch C-SPAN. They get like 5 minutes of time, talk time, they're done. And she just was like just about... And then Chuck Grassley was... I have to interrupt you because it's been 5 minutes. Oh, it has? Oh, I didn't see the light. Oh, okay. it was weird and jarring. And so that's why Lindsey Graham finally fumed out during the Kavanaugh part and just said, if you want power, I hope you never get it. He said to the Democrats. If you listen to it, it makes no sense because he's yelling at 1 minute, he's yelling at Dianne Feinstein. Next minute, he's yelling at Brett Kavanaugh saying, I love you. I'm so sorry about your family. And then he's yelling at, I don't know, the ceiling. Maybe he was yelling at Alyssa Milano. It was crazy. But yeah, good job, Rachel Mitchell. And then they just completely just tossed her aside. Yeah, wasn't I here for something? She was looking like, what was it? Didn't you guys hire me to do? All right. She should have just picked up her pen and left. You don't need me anymore. I'm out of here. Stupid Republicans. All you want to do is just kiss this guy's butt now for the rest of the hearing. Well, I may have gotten a name or two wrong, just like I was listening to NPR yesterday. So this is what NPR did. At 5 o'clock, usually they have one more hour of All Things Considered. Instead, they brought on their big guns, political guns. Nina Totenberg, who covered the Anita Hill hearing. In fact, she was like one of the first people to break the story, Nina Totenberg. You had Ron Elving, and, I forget everybody else. But, yeah, so they're very intelligent. They had cool clips to play. I know I'm not playing any clips on my show. Hey, you want a clip? Here, I'll play a friggin' clip. This one.
No more, Mr. Nice Guy.
So, yeah, they were playing clips from the hearing. And so, it was very helpful to hear the clips. Hear Lindsey Buckingham. I love Lindsey Buckingham. Forget about Lindsey Graham. Let's go to Lindsey Buckingham. Lindsey Buckingham, what do you have to say about this? I think I'm in trouble. Looking out for love in a night so still. Oh, I'll build you a kingdom at the top of the hill. Looking out for love. It's a castle on the top of the hill, I know. Lindsey Buckingham. My lovely lady friend is watching Winona Earp. I have not watched Winona Earp. It's on Netflix. But at one point, I walked in as she was watching it, and I see two girls in bikinis in a hot tub. And I'm like, ooh, what's this? She goes, it's Winona Earp. I'm like, oh. But yeah, it's basically Supernatural only with women. And she's related to Wyatt Earp. Yes, in case you didn't know. And then I heard about this thing called a weighted blanket. Someone was telling me about weighted blankets. What was the thing that people were wearing, the blanket that you wear? Is it a whammy, a chamois, a shamu? Shamu, uh-huh. Hey, here's Shamu now. Oh, wait. That's Flipper. Yeah, so that was the Yasso. Yasso, that's my phrase of the day, Yasso. And it is what it is. And to be sure. And, I also hate watch this space. Oh, when people say, watch this space. What is that even? That's like, I know that expression goes way back, but I hate that. Watch this space. I'm floating into space. So that was, let's go outside a cafe anyway, where we bring you Mike's Daily Podcast. Somewhere in Podcaster Valley. Usually about this point, I can pick up on one of the strings I dropped and leave and follow it back and get somewhere. But outside a cafe anyway, I don't know. We've had a week of full moons. We're pretty close to full moons. We've had weighted... the good thing about weighted blankets is they are supposed to, with that extra weight, it's supposed to make you feel more secure, more warm, more snuggled. Snuggies. Diapers. And somebody was talking about moving out of California as I wrap up the show with this interesting thought. Somebody was talking about moving out of California because of the taxes, because of the traffic. Here's the thing, though. If you move out of California and you move to, like, let's say I did, Huntsville, Alabama, nobody will come visit you. No one. Because you're in Huntsville, Alabama. Why do I want to buy a plane ticket and fly to Huntsville? They just don't. If you go to a destination, like, if you move to a destination place, Daytona Beach, that's always fun to visit my mom. And I get to see my mom, and I'm at the beach. But, Huntsville, Alabama, you have to pay people to come see you. It sucks. And I liked Huntsville, Alabama. I miss it. I want to go back, but... Look, and if you're listening to this from Huntsville, Alabama, you probably disagree with me. You may agree with me, disagree with the whole Brett Kavanaugh thing. You may agree, though, that Matthew Hennessy is a douche. I don't even know who Matthew Hennessy is, but I see him on C-SPAN, and he looks like a guy who writes books and thinks he knows everything. I don't write books. I just do the podcast. I just talk to you and tell you my life. Oh, hey, we didn't mention the person that walked. She happens to be out here. She's going to be in the podcast picture today. Hello, Michael Master to Madame Rootabega. Oh, I am looking so excited for all of the fun that is going to be happening this weekend. Oh. And there she is, Madame Rootabega. I just thought I'd play a little piano part for you. Okay, so that's the end of the show. Thank you for listening to it. Sirius buying Pandora. So can this podcast get onto either of those? That's the question. I've been trying to get this podcast onto Spotify. Forget about it. Sirius, Pandora, buying each other. Pandora is free. Sirius is not. That'll be interesting for them to square that. But if you do want to check out all the past podcasts, they're at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST-1713-September. And all the past podcast pictures. And if you want to go there and possibly you want to, let's say, see, hey, where else can I listen to this wonderful show? There are other links to other places you can listen to the show. All over the place, all over God's green earth. Maybe you want to comment and chime in on this whole Brett Kavanaugh Blasey thing. Call me 336MM Daily. That's 336MM Daily. Oh, by the way, if you listen to this on Google Play, which I have a link to that as well at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, you might notice it does jump from time to time. I noticed that too, whereas I was listening, because it's also on YouTube, youtube.com/MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST, I was noticing it didn't skip. So there's something up with Google Play's playback, which is ironic because they're called Google Play and they can't even play back right. So, I don't know what's up with that, but MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com if you want to get there. I think I got about 20 different ways. I got 25 ways to make it to my babies, to my lovely babies door. I got 25 ways to make it to my babies door, my lovely babies door. If I find a few, I probably could find a few more. I'm going to be on KKDV tomorrow, 92.1 KKDV. That's a radio station that you can hear online at kkdv.com, probably on TuneIn, Stitcher, all the others, iHeartRadio. I know a guy that works at TuneIn, and he hates it when I mention all the other apps that you can use to listen to other. Just go download the radio station's app is what I say, the KKDV app. But yeah, you can hear me online, or if you're in the Walnut Creek, Benicia, Vallejo, Martinez, a little bit of San Ramon, you can get and hear the station at 92.1 FM. And I'll be on from noon till 6 tomorrow, playing a bunch of big hit songs that will make you dance and sing. I'm not going to play obscure. I know most of the songs I sang today were obscure, but you won't hear obscure. You'll want to have a dance party with me on the radio from noon to 6 tomorrow. And I probably won't talk about this Kavanaugh thing at all, because it's not really conducive to that format. But still, if you want to hear me talk about that stuff, that's what this podcast is for. Yes, almonds don't lactate. Almonds don't lactate. And that makes me sad. But there's still almond milk, and I love it. Hey, thank you for listening to the show. Next show, it'll be, boy, we had everybody on today's show, but we will have Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere the engineer. Have a great weekend. Possibly I'll do a Super Secret Sunday show, but probably not.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Email Mike now at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.
God, that was a weird month.